Welcome to Scary Production, your gateway to the most spine-chilling horror stories and unnerving tales. Dive into a world of darkness where every shadow hides a secret and every whisper tells a haunting story. From ghostly encounters to unsolved mysteries, we bring you the finest in horror content designed to keep you on the edge of your seat. Are you ready to face your fears? Subscribe now, and let the terror begin. The Cursed School Trip. It was a dark, cold night when a group of schoolchildren set off on the strangest and most terrifying experience of their lives. This school trip was organized to an old, mysterious village with an abandoned mansion nearby. The group included Sarah, Hassan, Amina, and other students, along with their teachers. But little did they know that this journey would soon turn into their worst nightmare. As the bus approached the village, a strange mist suddenly enveloped the entire area. The driver, who had been cheerful at first, suddenly became serious and quiet. He stopped the bus and told the children, "The mansion isn't far from here. The bus can't go any further. You'll have to walk." The students were puzzled but assumed it was part of the trip's adventure. They all got off the bus and started walking through the dense forest. The path was eerie and silent, with the long shadows of trees stretching ominously. The air was filled with an unsettling quiet, and soon, they arrived at a large, abandoned mansion. The mansion was vast and creepy. Its stone walls were cracked, and it looked as though it had been standing there for centuries. Hassan joked, "This looks like a haunted house," but no one laughed. As they stepped inside, an eerie sensation washed over the students, as though some unseen force was watching them. Sarah, who had been seeing a mysterious place in her dreams for a long time, was stunned. "This place seems familiar to me," she said quietly, but no one paid attention. As soon as they entered, the door behind them shut by itself. Suddenly, things began to feel even stranger. The portraits on the wall seemed to stare at them, and from far away, soft whispers echoed through the hallways. It was clear that this place was far from ordinary. Their footsteps echoed in the empty corridors, and fear slowly began to creep into their hearts. Something was terribly wrong here, but they couldn't figure out what. Suddenly, Sarah caught a glimpse of a blurry figure drifting through the mansion's dark halls. It was the ghostly image of a woman, her face distorted and her body shrouded in mist. As soon as she appeared, terrifying screams echoed through the mansion. The children froze in fear. "That's the same woman I've seen in my dreams," Sarah cried out. Everyone turned to her. "I've seen her so many times in my dreams, and every time the dream ends in a nightmare. We need to get out of here." But the doors and windows were now tightly shut. The mansion had trapped them. Hassan, Amina, and Sarah knew they had to find a way out, fast. They ventured deeper into the eerie halls, and found a room with a strange portrait hanging on the wall. It was the same woman they had just seen, but in the painting, she looked alive and happy. Beneath the portrait, an inscription read, "Roshniya. The one who made this mansion her eternal home." Sarah realized that this mansion was under some kind of dark magic, and that Roshniya's spirit was trapped inside. Sarah pressed on a strange symbol on the wall, and suddenly, a secret door opened. With no other option, the children stepped through. The door led to a narrow tunnel that eventually opened into an ancient cellar. Strange symbols were carved into the walls, and the air was thick with an unnatural energy. Sarah figured that these symbols were related to the magical trap holding Roshniya's spirit. Suddenly, Roshniya's ghostly figure reappeared. She told the children that she was imprisoned in the mansion by a powerful spell, and that to free her, they would need to give up their own energy. If they failed, they too would become a part of the mansion forever. Sarah and her friends formed a circle, deciding to channel their energy into freeing Roshniya. As they began, the lamps in the cellar grew brighter, and the walls of the mansion started to shake. Finally, with a deafening blast, Roshniya's spirit disappeared, and the oppressive atmosphere in the mansion lifted. Exhausted, the children collapsed to the ground. When they woke up, the mansion looked completely normal, and the first light of dawn was beginning to break outside. They rushed back to the bus, where the driver, now acting completely normal, silently drove them back to school. The bus ride was quiet, with each student lost in their own thoughts, replaying the terrifying events in their minds. 2 weeks later. School life had returned to normal, but the memories of that trip still haunted the students. One day, Sarah found a strange note on her desk. It contained only one word, "Thank you." And below it was signed, Roshniya. Sarah smiled as she tucked the note into her bag and whispered a prayer for Roshniya's soul.